I was falling 10,000 feet still strapped to my airplane seat straight into the Amazon jungle. That's just one of the insane stories you're about to hear. Can you imagine surviving that? Or being trapped underwater in a sunken ship for 3 days? It sounds impossible, but it actually happened. These aren't movie scenes. These are real people who stared death in the face and somehow, against all odds, walked away. Today we're counting down 10 of the most unbelievable, mind-blowing, real-life survival stories ever recorded. I promise you, by the end of this video, you will not believe what the human body and spirit are capable of. We're going to dive deep into each one of these stories. We'll see a man forced to amputate his own arm with a dull pocket knife just to live. We'll meet another man who survived for 133 days adrift in the middle of the ocean. That's over 4 months. How did they do it? What was going through their minds? We're going to explore the split-second decisions, the insane acts of will, and the pure luck that separated life from death. I've read through every detail of these stories, and honestly, they've completely changed how I see the world. So, buckle up, because this is going to be an absolute roller coaster. We're starting in the depths of the Amazon rainforest and ending with a medical miracle that doctors still can't fully explain. Imagine you're 17 years old, flying home for Christmas. 1 second you're reading a book, and the next, the entire plane is ripped apart by a lightning strike. Lands of Flight 508, disintegrating over the Peruvian rainforest. This is exactly what happened to Julianne Kupsia. She was just strapped into her row of seats. She free fell 2 miles straight down. 2 miles. That's like falling from the top of 10 Empire State Buildings stacked on top of each other. Somehow, miraculously, the dense canopy of the Amazon jungle broke her fall. She landed on the forest floor, still strapped to her seat. A broken collarbone, a deep gash on her leg, a concussion. She was completely alone. When she woke up, she was surrounded by the wreckage and the deafening sounds of the jungle. Everyone else on the flight, including her own mother, was gone. For most people, this would be the end. But for Julianne, the fight for survival had just begun. Her father taught her one crucial survival lesson: follow water. She found a small stream, knowing it would lead to a larger river and civilization. For 11 days, she waded through water and walked with only a small bag of candy. The jungle was not friendly. Infections with maggots, snakes, crocodiles, piranhas. Every single step was an act of pure will. On the 10th day, she found a hut, cleaned her wounds with gasoline, and the next day, local lumberjacks found her. They couldn't believe their eyes. This young girl, the sole survivor, walked out of the jungle by herself. Newspaper headlines: Miracle Girl. Her story isn't just about luck, it's about knowledge, resilience, and an unbreakable will to live. Now we go from the jungle to the open ocean. Meet Stephen Callahan. 6 days out, something hit his boat. He thinks a whale. The impact ripped a huge hole in the hull. His boat sank fast in a storm. He scrambled to inflate his life raft, grabbed a small kit, and abandoned ship. In a 6-foot raft, tossed by massive waves, he watched his sailboat disappear. 800 miles from land. A tiny speck in an endless ocean. He had solar stills, a spear gun, a handful of rations. Most people would give up, but Stephen built a routine. Collect water daily, spear mahi-mahi and triggerfish, eat every part for nutrients, fight off sharks, patch holes as the raft fell apart, wet, salt sores, losing weight. He battled despair and hallucinations. To keep sane, he navigated by the stars and documented everything. After 76 days and 1,800 miles, fishermen found him off Guadeloupe. He'd lost a third of his body weight, but he was alive. Try to imagine that. Over 2.5 months of pure survival. You thought 76 days was insane? Poon Lim's ship was torpedoed in 1942. The ship sank in 2 minutes. He found an 8-foot wooden raft with scant supplies. He rationed, stripped a flashlight wire to make a hook, turned hemp rope into line, caught fish, even a bird. He drank its blood when rain didn't come, fended off sharks, collected rainwater, and tied knots to count days, day after day, month after month. After 133 days, he drifted to Brazil, rescued by fishermen, 30 pounds lighter, and holder of a record for human endurance that's never been broken. Chapter 4. This next story is one of the most famous, and for good reason. It's visceral. It's terrifying. Aaron Ralston, alone in Blue John Canyon, had his right hand crushed and pinned by a falling boulder. He was trapped. Completely and utterly trapped. He tried everything. He was miles from help, told no one. With a little water, 2 burritos, and a dull pocket knife. Hours turned into days. 5 days. He recorded goodbyes, hallucinated, then realized the only way out was to leave his arm behind. His knife couldn't cut skin. Using the boulder, he snapped the radius and ulna, then spent an hour cutting through skin, muscle, and tendon with that dull blade. He rappelled 65 feet, hiked 7 miles, and found help. The ultimate story of choosing life, no matter the cost. Chapter 5. Joe Simpson and Simon Yates were descending a remote Peruvian peak when a massive storm hit. Simpson slipped. His right leg shattered, bone through the knee joint. At 20,000 feet, that's a death sentence. No rescue, no helicopter, nothing. Yates heroically lowered him repeatedly, until Simpson hung over a cliff. Being pulled to his death, Yates cut the rope to save himself. Simpson fell 150 feet into a crevasse, landing on a snow bridge. Alone, with a shattered leg, he found a way out onto the glacier. For 3 days he crawled 6 miles, drinking melted snow, hallucinating, near death, then saw camp and made it back just in time. A survival so extreme, even he can hardly believe it. Chapter 6. From the freezing Andes to the blistering Sahara, Mauro Prosperi, elite runner in a 6-day 155-mile race. On day 4, an 8-hour sandstorm erased tracks and buried markers. He ran the wrong way, became utterly lost, rationed water as temps soared over 120 degrees. Out of food and water, he drank his own urine, found a lone shrine, wrote a farewell, even tried to end it. But survived the attempt. He took it as a sign to live. He ate bats and snakes, drank their blood, walked mornings and evenings, rested through the brutal midday heat. After 9 days, he reached an oasis, met girls tending goats, then villagers, then the military. He'd lost 40 pounds and walked nearly 200 miles. Out of the Sahara. Chapter 7. Harrison O'Keefe, cook on the Jascon 4, survived a capsize that sank the boat 100 feet to the seabed, into a 4-foot air pocket. Total darkness, freezing water, no food or fresh water. Air turning toxic with carbon dioxide. Nearly 3 days later, a diver swam by, and a hand reached out. Chapter 8. The 1996 Everest disaster killed 8 climbers. Beck Weathers went nearly blind from altitude after eye surgery. Stranded in a blizzard, he became hypothermic, frozen, and was left for dead. His wife was told he had died. After almost 24 hours in hurricane-force winds below zero, he snapped from a hypothermic coma and staggered back to camp, shocking everyone. A daring helicopter rescue saved him. He lost his nose, his right hand, and all fingers on his left, but survived the impossible. Chapter 9. Anna Bogenholm was trapped under ice for 80 minutes. When pulled out, she wasn't breathing and had no pulse. Clinically dead. Her core was 56.7 Fahrenheit, far below any prior survivor. Dr. Mads Gilbert refused to give up. Nobody is dead until they are warm and dead. Over 100 staff worked 9 hours, warming her blood outside her body. Her heart didn't beat on its own for over 3 hours. And then, it started. She woke, initially paralyzed, but recovered nearly fully over a year. Her case rewrote how doctors treat extreme hypothermia. Chapter 10. Doug Tompkins, founder of the North Face and Esprit, left it all for Patagonia, a place of savage weather, mountains, and vast wilderness. He became a conservationist and field expert, kayaker, climber, bush pilot, thriving through skill, planning, and respect for nature's power. In 2015, freak waves capsized his kayak, He died of hypothermia. It doesn't diminish his legacy. Millions of acres protected. From falling out of a plane to being frozen solid, these stories are absolutely mind-blowing. What Julianne, Aaron, Harrison, and all the others went through, they all had one thing in common: an unbreakable will to live. They prove that at the limit, the human body and spirit can do the impossible. These aren't superheroes. They're ordinary people with extraordinary strength. Never, ever give up. I spent hours researching these stories, and I'm in awe. If you were on the edge of your seat, like and subscribe. And tell me the most insane survival story you've heard in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.